Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome into Unmasked Universe. So, I'm going to be taking the channel in a different direction. My guides have kind of peeped me to a few things that were going on regarding my chosen path, and they're redirecting me. So, I've got to listen to Spirit, take their advice. We're going to be focusing on readings, channelings, things of that nature. So, if you're interested in receiving guidance, then this may be the message you've been waiting for. So, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so I've already pre-shuffled all my cards. I have contacted my holy ancestors, called my spirit team in, called in Archangel Metatron and Archangel Gabriel to work with me today. And I have tapped into the collective energy. I've also tapped into or called forward all of the collective guardian angels. That would be your guardian angel. And ask them to step forward to provide messages or answers to questions that you may have. So, whatever resonates with you, take that with you. If something does not resonate with you, then just leave it behind for somebody else. There may be bits and parts of this message that are for you. The whole message may be for you, or there may only be one thing in this message for you. So use your discernment at all times while watching any kind of psychic readings, tarot readings, oracle readings, channelings. Use your discernment and take what only applies. Some of it is past, some of it is present, and some of it will be future. So take it as it applies to you. I'm going to start off with the message of Cosmic Oracle cards just to kind of get a energy read on what's going on in the collective. Holy ancestors, angels, what is the current energy in the collective? What is the current energy in the collective? Hmm. Speak up and speak out. Let your voice be heard loud and clear. Okay. We'll get one more, please. With regards to the speak up and speak out, what other message needs to come through for the collective in regards to their energy, please? Oh, there it is. Stop caring about what they think. This is your life to love and live. Okay. Well, okay, actually, it was right here the whole time. It's been a while since I've done these online, so. All right, so Spirit, can you give us a little more on this? What is it the collective needs to speak up and speak out about, or stop caring about what other people think? What is it that they're needing to stop caring about other than what they think? Anything specific? Anything specific that they need to speak up about? That one almost jumped out. There it is. Letting go. Surrender and let go of control, release resistance, and trust in the flow of light or life, knowing that everything unfolds in divine timing and for your highest good. Okay. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, these cards are going to be backwards for you guys for now. And this is how I could rig up my computer. But what I'm getting is that for some of you, there are some relationships that are going on that you're being asked to step into your power to a degree. And not only just step into your power, but it's also about stepping into your autonomy, stepping into um, your spiritual path, your spirituality, whatever it is that you believe about spirituality, you're being asked at this time to stop wearing that mask around who you truly are. So it's not even just about the spirituality, but it's about your being your authentic self and your spirituality, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, your way of being naturally existing in the world is all a part of your autonomy. And so you're being asked to really harness all of who you are and step into that, no longer caring. So let's just give an example of what's coming through is if you're in the backyard and you have neighbors who can see into your backyard, but you want to practice, say, Tai Chi, or you want to do a meditation or do yoga, or you want to clear your energy, and it might look like you're waving your arms all over the place and doing weird things, and you might be caring too much about what your neighbor is thinking about you instead of caring about yourself and stepping into your authenticity and just being who you are and doing what you know feels good to you. So, for some of you, it's about the way that you're showing up. And for others, it's about the expression. So, if you're holding back aspects of who you are, and you're not allowing yourself to step into that. And I'm not saying in a way that you're going out and being harmful to other people or negative to other people, but um, part of it is about stepping into your own power and your own autonomy, which means stepping into your authentic truth, which then means, letting go of the opinions of other people and what projections they may be sending to you or how they may view you, letting go of any beliefs that it even matters. And that's coming through really strong, actually. Letting go of the belief that any of that even matters because if it's good for you to have boundaries, to speak up for yourself, to have your own autonomy, to protect your authentic self, your authenticity, to protect the things that you do to nurture your body, your soul, your mind, your emotions, whatever it is, it's time to stop worrying or caring about what other people are thinking about you while you were doing those things and start showing people who you truly are. And that means pursuing the things that you know are good for you, that they are self serving, that they are loving, and that they are kind to you and not caring whatsoever about what other people think. So, a part of this is surrendering the belief that it matters. And that's what's really coming through the most right now is that there is this belief that what anybody else thinks about who the new you is or who you truly are matters. It only matters if you give it credence. So, if you allow it to matter, you cannot feel guilt or shame about something that is good for you if you reject the fact that their opinions matter. If it helps you in some way or some capacity, it's serving your highest self, like for you to step into and align with your highest self, then it is good for you and nothing else matters. So you're really being asked to step into this energy of your authentic truth. And that means surrendering all of the old ideas, not just control or the resistance to it, but old beliefs around that as well. Trusting that the more you step into that energy, the more you step into not caring what other people think about what you're doing, how you look, how you're showing up, what you believe, what you practice, then the closer to source that you're going to get, the more aligned you're going to get, and the easier letting go becomes because then you cultivate this trust between you and yourself, which ultimately is between you and the divine. So, all right, let me see here. I'm gonna get one of these cards here. All right. What messages does the collective need most right now, please, Spirit? What what guidance does the collective need most right now, please, Spirit? Shit, shuffle these in a different way. There we go. My hands are a bit small, so I kind of pinch them. Okay, Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. All right, we'll get one more on that, please. Can I get a little more on double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity, please, Spirit? There we go. Thank you. Inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. All right. I quite like this setup, actually. It's working quite well. Okay. And I'm just going to get one more card from here to tie into this message. Let's tie this message in, please, Spirit, angels, before I begin to channel. What more do you wish to add to this? I hope you're all having a great day. It's a not too hot day, but hot enough. So it's perfect for me. Evolution. Okay. That's beautiful. I guess I'll show you that card. Okay. All right. What message would you like to channel through for the collective regarding these three cards, please, Spirit? Okay, so the first thing that I'm getting with this Pleiades card, there's some of you in the collective who are questioning your mission, your purpose, your path at this time, and maybe like me, you're being asked to change directions, or you may be questioning it because things aren't working out, things are difficult, things are challenging, and this is a sign of maybe some resistance, like this card was saying, resistance being caused because it's not quite the right path for you. For others of you, what I'm getting is that some of you have been on the path for a while and you've been doing all the right things and everything has been going fairly smoothly. But what you're not realizing is that you have a double mission here. And most of us do have more than one mission. Most of us have several, right? But some of them are bigger missions than others. So some of them kind of hold more space in your life than others do. I mean, I'll give you an example. So let's just say you are a reader online, like I'm doing right now. Okay, that may be your main mission right now. But you may be training for something else in the background, or you may have smaller little missions to carry your vibration, your energy, your love, your light out into the world just in random things with random interactions with people, smiles, or a nice, kind gesture or word to somebody, right? So we have these missions while we're here that are greater. or they hold a greater space, at least in our lives. None is greater than the other. They're all equally as important. But sometimes what we don't realize is that our energy is meant, again, yeah, to uplift humanity. It is meant to be shared with others. And so you may be really narrow focused on a specific thing. And maybe the energies, because you're so narrow focused on whatever it is that you're focusing on right now, maybe things aren't as smooth as they could be because you're being asked to share your light in other ways. So part of our mission as light workers, as you know, earth angels and healers and reincarnated ascended masters, part of our mission here is to come here and uplift humanity, but it's not just done through one channel, it's done through multiple channels. And so the strongest message that I'm getting here is that if you want things to go a little smoother in your life or faster, you want whatever it is that you're working on as your main mission, you want that to go better in some way, in some capacity, is what I'm hearing. And that could be different for each of you. Maybe you want it to go faster. Maybe you want it to be easier. Maybe you want to be happier. Whatever it is that this applies to in your life, you're being asked to spread yourself out a little bit more, kind of like tendrils, right? Just to get a variation of experiences, a variation of people that you interact with as well. So, not just the same people at the same stores, the same friends, the same family, but a different, different atmosphere. Maybe attend an event or a musical event or some sort of celebration. Maybe go to the library if you don't go there often. Go to somewhere or something that is different that allows you to be in a different environment and with different people that perhaps you don't know to allow that energy to uplift you again, because it's not only about us using our frequency and our energy to uplift others in the world and sharing that with others. But it's also about the interactions that we get from these different experiences. And part of that is this level of childlike wonder, joy, happiness, expression. There's a lot of things in this reading already. Pardon me, hold on one second. There's a lot of things in this reading already talking about how, your voice needs to be heard. You need to step into that authenticity. But part of it is letting go of old ideas of what that looks like. And maybe there's an aspect of control here that some of you in the collective may be struggling with because you are too focused on it being one way. And when you do that, you don't allow for spirit to come through you and to channel through you in an uplifted way, which can slow your progress or halt it altogether. So, they're wanting me to illuminate the fact that there are other avenues of not only uplifting others, but uplifting yourself to get that energy, that stagnant energy, moving once again in the right direction. And perhaps, like I said at the beginning, that some of you in the collective may be on the wrong path, or maybe it's not wrong, but there could be other things going on in the background that you're completely unaware of that may be contributing to your inability to progress in that specific realm at that time. And I've talked about on this channel before, there are a lot of things that are going around in the spiritual world energetically that a lot of you are probably not even aware of. And so some of the things that are happening, though they're happening for you, it can cause problems or delays or complete stops to specific paths that you've aligned with. And so the universe may need to come in and realign you into a path that might be easier to lift you up into a higher vibration at that time so that you can start to evolve in the way that you should be by that time. And hopefully that makes sense. So part of this is also about opening your heart. And um, of course, the higher your vibration gets, the more you raise your vibration, the more healing that you do on yourself, the more your heart space opens. And so you're being asked to really tune into that part of you that is holding up these walls, like putting blocks in the way to you experiencing those higher level emotions such as joy, bliss, contentment, even contentment. A lot of people don't even feel content, right? So then you're being asked to really tune into what it is that is holding your heart back from being fully open. And, again, going back to the beginning of this reading, what is it that you're afraid to do, or what is it that you're afraid to look like? Or um, do you have fears or blockages or walls up against other people that may be too high at this point in the game? Like, of course, we all need to have boundaries. We all need to have a certain level of protection. And that comes with the discernment as well of knowing who to let in and who not to let in. If you're somebody who has not developed that level of discernment yet, then of course your walls are going to be really high. But do they need to be high all the time, 24/7? Because if they don't, then there should be moments, at least in your day, where you can allow the walls to fall, even if it's just while you're in your inner temple, going within, exploring yourself, and allowing those walls to come down so that you can get closer to yourself and allow your heart to just be open and you can be at rest at that point. Because obviously, when we go into um, spaces where there are other people who are wounded, who are struggling, who do have possibly energies that, we don't wish to take on, then having those walls up is somewhat of a good idea to some degree, right? Because you're only going to let in the people who deserve to be in your energy, deserve to be a part of your life. But it also prevents you from taking part in and appreciating the small things in life that provide some of the most uplifting experiences and joy that you can experience. So it's important to go inwards to ask yourself these questions like, why do I care? What do I care about? What do I feel insecure about when I am trying to be this way in my home and I step out the door and I'm being somebody completely different? What is that tapping into? Where did it come from? And why, even though that was a feeling in the past or that was created in childhood, why do I feel the need to continue that on now? Why can't I be myself in my house and out of my house? You know? And when we tie this all together, it's really asking you to evaluate these things within yourself because this is a time where um, your heart is ready to be cracked open. Whether you're at the beginning of your spiritual journey or you're way far along, everybody's going to be receiving this kind of heart chakra opening. The energies are coming in for this at this time in the collective. And so there is evolution happening within the collective right now, and it's very, very big. And so this energy is just coming in to kind of show you what it is that you're still caring about or carrying fear around in being yourself. They're asking you to let go of that so that you can, not only just open your heart and receive that love, but to share that love. And this is a collective evolution that is going on not just for the spiritual collectives, but for humanity as a whole. And so sharing and uplifting this energy in our double mission, which is to share that light, to share that vibration, to share our wealth of wisdom and knowledge with the world, then this is what is being asked. And so this is an evolution for the planet, not just for you guys, not just for me, not on an individual basis, but for all involved, whether they are living in the shadows or they are living in the light. Your light either is going to trigger them or bring them peace in their life, and both have their own purpose. Both serve a high function. And so it is needed. Your light is needed. And the only way that you can increase that light is to go inner or inwards to your inner temple and to allow yourself to explore these specific topics, and to figure out what emotions are tied to them, and to start processing those emotions, whether it's guilt, shame, fear, whatever it is, to start working through them and to allow yourself to open that heart space more and more and more. Because, like I said, the energy coming through right now is prime, absolutely prime for this. So, let's see what I am called to next. Yeah, let's get one of these cards. This is Alana Fairchild's Lightworker Oracle. Okay, what message of inspiration would you like to share with the collective, please, and thank you, Spirit? What is the card that will resonate most with the collective? There we go. Initiation by water. Okay, yeah. So, water being the element of emotions, connected to emotions, connected to sometimes it can be volatile. Sometimes the energy can be very fluid, very soft. So you may be going through moments of feeling peaceful and serene and everything being really fluid to moments of, well, let's just be honest, complete messiness. It might feel really messy. It might feel really confusing at times, or the emotions that you're feeling may be really deep. And so there's a lot that's being asked to be processed so that your heart can open and you can step into the next evolution of yourself. But part of that has to do with letting go of these old versions of ourselves, these old ways of being, and just trusting that you're being guided in the right direction. And given that this is an initiation card, I am going to read this card as well. So your spiritual path this lifetime involves you becoming a clear channel for spirit. You are meant to communicate with higher guidance. Oh my gosh, my whole head is just tingling as soon as I started reading that. Okay, thank you, Spirit, for the confirmation. This applies to me too. Your initiation by water will further open your receiving channels, dislodge lower vibrational material, and sensitize you to subtle realms of light. You are being open to a world of which you may only have dreamed. Such is its beauty, grace, and love. Pardon me. Situations have been arising in your world that evoke emotional reactions and challenge your opinions and beliefs. What were we just talking about? You may not feel in control. You may feel like your world, your emotions have become like a stormy sea in which you are tossed about, ups and downs, and you are doing your best not to drown in the chaos. Yet you are not to fear it. It is stirring that which has been held within so it can be released. The storm will pass, and the waters of your emotions shall become more serene. You could compare the process to a glass of water with muddy sediment at the bottom. The water appears clear as the mud is left to lie. Yet once the water gets stirred up, the mud rises. Then it can be filtered out, and the water will be clearer than ever before. The turbulence was a step that led to greater clarity. The waters in the glass are comparable to your emotional waters, and the fixed opinions, beliefs, or long held emotional patterns based on unresolved past pain are the sediment at the bottom of the glass. Hold the glass up to the light. Can the light shine through the sediment? No, but it can be seen through the clear water. Remove the sediment, and the water will be clear enough to allow the light to shine through without obstruction or distortion. The light is the light of spirit, of higher truths, unconditional love, of peace, wisdom, and joy. You know that you are meant to be, pardon me, my throat has been really acting up since I started doing this. I'm just going to clear the space here. Sometimes energies like to go after reader's throat energies. So, you know that you are meant to be a channel for the truth of spirit. As an advanced soul, you are capable of successfully enduring the process of filtering out whatever would obstruct the clear flow of higher consciousness through your being. Perhaps tired of emotional swings, you have suppressed your emotions and believe you feel nothing. Yet you are acting out unwanted behaviors or suffering from apparently random physical accidents or maladies, which is your subconscious way of expressing your hidden feelings. If this is the case, you are encouraged to be kind to yourself, to give yourself time to reflect upon your true feelings. Releasing emotional blockages doesn't have to be a drawn out process. It is often the resistance and fear of the feelings within that is more difficult than expressing the actual feeling underneath that resistance and finally letting it go. Whatever pain you are feeling right now is a sign of emotional healing and recovery. You are encouraged to accept and process your feelings, especially those that do not make much sense to you. Your emotional truths will make more sense as you heal. If you can, if you can get help from a healer, therapist, counselor, or a mentor, they will support you and help you resolve your part of the process more swiftly. Know that even though it challenges you at times, this is a good thing that is taking place, necessary for you to more fully receive the divine connection for which you yearn. And there is an invocation that I will share with you. So if you want to say this, then and connect with your spirit team while you say this, then this may help you out. I choose to lovingly, gratefully, and kindly let go of that which I no longer need to hold on to emotionally. Forgiveness is easy for me. I forgive myself and all others for our human mistakes. I choose to honor a mistake as a chance to learn and an opportunity from the divine to grow more loving. I ask for protection, assistance, merciful grace, and tender compassion to bless me through this initiation so that I may thrive in joy. May all those who are divinely destined to become clear channels for spiritual love be supported by unconditional loving beings that can assist them to successfully move through initiation and shine the light of spirit through their hearts for the benefits of all beings. So be it. All right. Yeah, this is actually going to be a shorter reading because that was the message. Yeah, I thought I would get maybe one of these or two of these I'm hearing. Okay, close out the message. Oh, or that's way too many. All right, let's put those ones back. Just one, please, Spirit and hands, because we work together in union, you know? All right, there it is. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so be clear about where you are putting your focus right now. Focus on your desired outcome. You have everything within to create the life of your dreams. Stop doubting yourself for once. This is your time. We've got you. We've got you. So relax. That's what they're saying. You don't need to be anxious. You don't need to be fearful. Um, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is one of the hardest things to do when you have always had the carpet ripped out from underneath your feet, when you're always waiting for the next shoe to drop, when you have experienced trauma just about every single day of your life, this is so hard. And the deeper understanding and integration of this message, if you're at the beginning of your path, this is not gonna, it's not gonna really, it's not that it won't resonate, but it won't sink in to the degree that it will maybe a year from now once you've done a lot of your healing work, or 2 years, or everybody's timeline is different, however long it takes for each of you. Some people like me, it's like, I'm getting in there. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do as much as possible. But that was me. Some people are like, I cannot deal with this amount of trauma to introspect on and revisit and all of that. Everybody is totally different. So I respect where you are and how you deal with your things. But I found that I wanted this message to apply so deeply for so long. And it really took a lot longer than I thought to really be able to shift my focus in the desired outcome. So, what it means is that, you know, if you have a bunch of spiders in your house, I'll give you the example of what happened in my house. I have a bunch of spiders lately in my house, and like a lot, and a lot of different varieties. And I'll tell you, I am not a fan of spiders. Outside, they're totally fine, but inside, no. And so I was focusing a lot of attention on trying to keep them out and, on the fact that they're in here and all of that because it's a phobia, right? So you focus, you narrowly focus on something perhaps that you don't want. And by doing that, you actually manifest more of that. And so what this card really means is surrendering all of the things that are taking up your emotional and mental space. That's the best way I can put it. Because whatever you are hyper fixated on that is causing negative emotions, instead of hyper fixating on that, change your focus to hyper fixate on reinforcing positive ideas and beliefs in your mind and in your body and changing the direction in how you react to things when you do get bad news, changing your direction to put positive, loving energy into the things that you want to see grow and pulling it back from the things you don't want to see grow, like more spiders in your house. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, but it can be one of the more challenging things because it's tied up to emotions. And that's why it's so important to do that introspection, to do that inner work in your inner temple of letting go, of looking at the things that are blocking you, looking at the things that are making you revisit past traumas or triggering even within your body, your automatic nervous system, to go back into states of trauma or fight or flight. These are things that need to be worked on in order to really fully harness this, from what I found. So, doesn't matter where you are on your path, you can make improvements on this in some aspect or another. But um, really, like it's really about tuning out of the things that you don't want and tuning into what you do want and really going towards your happiness, right? And sometimes that takes, like, sometimes you can only do that in increments, depending on where you are on your healing journey and how much you have left to heal. So, whatever it is that you can focus on, whatever does make you happy, whatever does bring you joy, whatever lights you up, whatever even gives you a small spark of joy in your life, that's what they're really wanting you to hone in this month. Um, Especially these last few weeks of June, to really hone into positive things, positive thinking, things that make you smile, things that make you happy, and give less of your time and energy to the things that are sucking you dry emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. It's time to get off the hamster wheel, is what I'm hearing, and into the direction that you actually want to go. And again, that might take a while because there may be resistance to that change because your ego is you might need to let go of aspects of your ego that are still holding on to protecting you in that mode, in that way, or that shape or form, right? If you pay close attention, you will notice all the doors once closed are opening up, just in different form. Things may not appear exactly as you had envisioned. All right. So there is also this aspect tying into um, the beginning of this reading here, how we tend to project what we think we want, right? So we may be on a trajectory that is not actually aligned for us anymore, or that maybe possibly never was, but our mind really wanted it. So I guess a lot of this is to let go of that, like surrender the control around, allowing the divine and the universe to work for you rather than chasing something, but to attract it instead. And so if you're hitting walls, if you're hitting resistance, it's because it's not meant for you or you're working too hard towards it. If um, if you do end up letting go of that resistance and no longer caring, for some of you, I'm actually hearing that there are spiritually aligned paths that you're afraid to take because of what family or friends or other people might think or say about you. And so, again, you're going to need to speak up. You're going to need to let go of any of that resistance. And you're going to need to let go of the ideas that you have in your mind as to how it's going to work out, and pay attention to what is causing the resistance and what walls you're hitting so that these doors can open up for you. But it does take letting go of the idea that you have because maybe it comes in better. Maybe it comes in oftentimes when we're asking for our manifestations. I think there is some sort of delusion about everything's going to go so perfectly well, and we have this vision of how it all comes in. But in fact, there is a big portion of that that is maybe not so great, and we have to find acceptance for the losses and the difficult situations that come forward too, because um, there's a balance, right? And sometimes we need to lose something in order to gain something better. Sometimes bad things need to come in, not only to test our faith, but to make sure that we are still wanting that and in alignment with that. And if we do hold on to the idea of how it comes in too strongly or with too much control, then we're actually causing resistance and not allowing what it is that we're truly wanting to come into our lives with ease or at all. We might be completely blocking it at that point if we are putting too much control around how it's going to happen or what it's supposed to look like. Because again, there may be a bunch of turbulent things that happen prior to it, or you may experience a lot of loss or losses or difficulties, and your job at that point is to say, okay, this is just all part of the process. There's always loss to get the gain. And so I need to trust. And I'm just going to ignore what's going on in the 3D and say, you know what, I still have faith. And this happened. Yeah, sure. Maybe it cost me this amount, or maybe my money's going now and you know, that's okay. You're not going to focus on that. You're going to ignore, in a sense, ignore what the 3D is trying to get you to come back to and say, you know what, but I know that whatever it is that I'm working towards or my manifestations or what I'm looking to create in my life is still coming. It is still coming, and I have 100% faith that what I envision is coming or better. And I let go of control and I surrender any resistance um, around the how this is going to happen or how this is going to play out. And I understand that this is a part of my manifestations, my dreams, my aspirations, my creations coming in. These turbulent times come before that. And I'm okay with that. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm going to focus my energy, continue to focus into the things that I want to see grow in my life, that I want to see evolve in my life, that I want to bring into my life. So hopefully that makes sense. This is where I'm going to end the reading. I hope you got something out of it. If it resonated with you, feel free to drop a comment or leave a thumbs up. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to our beautiful community of light workers and lovely, beautiful people in the collective. All right. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. Love you. Bye.